Hey you. Yes, you, viewer. Remember when we talked about The Simpsons Season 1? When the show was still kind of figuring out what it wanted to be? Well, now we're on to Season 2. Season 1 is a family drama that occasionally told jokes, while Season 2 understands that it's a comedy without losing the heart that Season 1 had. Did Season 2 improve on Season 1? Well... For a season premiere, this is easily a top 3 episode of Season 2. This one is honestly kind of relatable if you think about it. Bart actually tries, but he fails. He tries so hard, but he still fails. At first, is it too emotional? Absolutely not, that's the point. Fantastic episode, 10 out of 10. Homer finally gets hair. And it becomes unbearable.
I am nature's greatest miracle!
Which is the joke. I don't know about this episode, honestly. I didn't like its flow. The episode does seem to understand it. Confidence without self-awareness is arrogance with better lighting. But I don't know, I just didn't like anything about this episode. But it could be worse. If it were a season 5 episode, it wouldn't be as emotional. It would focus more on being goofy. They'd never parody that beautiful
You are so beautiful to me
song from the Little Rascals. It's not mediocre, it's not bad, but it's not good either. It's somewhere in the middle. It's okay, a 6 out of 10. Welcome to the very first Treehouse of Horror episode. For the very first episode and what started this series, man, it's just the right way to start. My favorite of the bunch has to be the Raven. I mean, come on, that one's just classic. This is just another one of those episodes that goes to show how underrated and underappreciated the first 3 or 4 seasons are of the show. 10 out of 10 for sure. What a fantastic way to start this series off. 2 cars on every garage and 3 eyes on every fish. Try something that season 1 will probably barely ever try to. Image speaks for itself. Imagine a show trusting its audience in 1999 out of 10. So apparently I hear people don't care for this one, but honestly, this is one of the episodes that made Homer my favorite character of the show. This is where his centric episodes got better in my opinion. The episode is honestly really fun in my opinion. It's about Homer discovering attention, and he ends up loving it, of course. 8 out of 10. Improvement from the previous 2 Homer episodes from season 1. Let's just say I have a love-hate relationship with Dead Pudding Society, which is honestly kind of fitting considering the relationship between Homer and Flanders, which starts like this episode. I understand what this episode is trying to do, but it may or may not goes a little too far with that. It does lean more to good though, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. You know, rewatching Bart vs. Thanksgiving reminds me of the movie Home Alone. Yes, Home Alone. Is this a coincidence considering that the episode and the movie aired like a week between each other? It's a holiday, and the kid is a brat. He accidentally causes trouble, and his parents ground him. He then goes on an unexpected journey that makes him realize how much his family means to him. The end. I love Home Alone, so it's only fair that I give this episode a 10 out of 10. Oh boy, I have been dying to talk about this one. It's only remembered for this scene, but there's a lot more to it. Bart becoming a daredevil sounds like a totally fun thing that he will never do again. Yep, that was a reference. They went all on out with the creativity of the execution. I just love the story. Homer and Bart were the best. 10 out of 10. My favorite episode of season 2 so far. Let's see if that changes. How does an episode from 35 years ago still feel relevant? That's just impressive. Itchy and Scratchy and Marge is a very funny episode. I really loved the scene where Marge goes into the TV and gets involved with Itchy and Scratchy's antics. Just kidding, that never happened. But the episode is still very funny. Marge isn't wrong, but she isn't right either. Did I mention that this episode was an 8 out of 10? Oh no, Bart's about to get hit by a car. Will he recover? Will he be traumatized? Will this permanently change the show even though we're only in the second season? Anyway, this episode is absurd, dark, and hilarious. It embraces cartoon logic while still keeping it in character, and it's honestly kind of impressive, not gonna lie. Not much else to say here. It's a great episode that only loses points because it's a little slow. 8 out of 10. One fish, two fish, bluefish, blowfish, or whatever it's called. I get it mixed up and you do too, don't even try to hide it. This episode did not have to go this emotionally hard. I mean, yes, obviously we know Homer is not gonna die. But to see him spend time with his friends and family and everyone is just sweet. It doesn't feel like a sitcom, but that's not even a nitpick, that's a compliment. 10 out of 10. Homer and Marge's marriage stories are usually hit or miss for me. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. This one I like. This one is a flashback to when Homer first met Marge and married her. I like this one because it's funny and heartfelt. Also, Homer and Marge being awkward teenagers is honestly relatable. Here's a fact about me that you didn't have to know. I'm socially awkward. This would all only get retconned as we move on for the rest of the series. 9 out of 10 episode. Alright, I'm mixed on this episode. The ending and the moral just feel like some kind of after school special that you show kids to show that stealing is bad. The jokes are hit or miss, but on the positive side, it is ahead of its time, just like Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. This episode is more on the positive side. 7 out of 10. Interesting episode. Patty and Skinner never interact after this episode, I don't think. Especially since Patty now lives in her own separate apartment from Selma, so now they don't live with each other anymore. That's a story for another time. This would have been a great or amazing or maybe even fantastic episode if it only weren't for the third act. Patty leaves Skinner just for Selma, only just because Selma was getting jealous. Not gonna lie, but I'd probably react the same way if my girlfriend left me like that. But aside from that, which third act isn't even that bad. This one's a good one, 7 out of 10, not much else to say. Homer Simpson has a brother? Is it an unpopular opinion to say that I love this episode? First off, and most importantly, I love the relationship between Homer and Herb. They're just hilarious. Herb getting mad at Homer for losing his job, even though it is Herb's fault, it's just hilarious. I mean, Herb is literally the one who put Homer in charge of making the car. Plus, we get Danny DeVito, the same guy who voiced the Lorax, even though that movie came out after this episode, but still. Another 10 out of 10 episode. Okay, I know I keep giving season 2 episodes 10 out of 10s, but I can't help it. Season 2 is too good for me not to give these episodes high ratings. I don't think I've seen a bad episode from season 2 so far. Oh, I'm re-reviewing Bart Gets an F? I already said it was a 10 out of 10 episode. It was emotional and relatable. Oh, Bart's dog gets an F. But how? He doesn't go to school. Oh, he goes to obedience school because he keeps fudging up everything the family has. This one is alright. Nothing too noteworthy about it, but nothing bad about it either. That's really all I have to say about it. It's a fine episode. Abe-centric episodes are usually risky, but this one works. This episode is sincere, bittersweet, and gives Abe some depth. Short review, I know, but 8 out of 10. If you feel like your art isn't that good, and which it is, you can definitely relate to Marge and brush with greatness. I love how the side plot of Homer trying to lose weight immediately ties in with Marge learning how to paint. The Mount Splashmore song was also pretty entertaining. The characters are also pretty funny, especially Ringo Starr. Also, how ironic that Miss Hoover, Lisa's teacher, shows up for the first time in this episode, and then yet in the next episode she has a completely different design. 9 out of 10. It's emotional, and it has a beautiful ending. This episode is just a masterpiece. 10 out of 10. That is what I said in my Moaning Lisa review from season 1. The same things I said about that episode also applies here to Lisa's substitute. I can relate to Lisa here. I've met a lot of people in my life like Mr. Bernstone. Also, the side plot with Bart becoming class president was also really cool to see. And I'm glad it got turned into a full episode in a season 37 episode that we'll get to in a couple of years. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Let's get back to the episode. This is the episode that proved that The Simpsons deserved to last for how many seasons it has now. 10 out of 10. The War of the Simpsons is a fine episode. The only part I really remember is the first act, aka when they threw the party. Then it turns into a Homer and Marge marriage crisis story, and as I have stated before, I'm not usually too big on those episodes. I don't really have much else to say. I'm just gonna give this episode a 7 out of 10. Okay, I'm normally mixed on friend rivalry plots, but this one gets an exception because it's pure fun. There's no deep message to it, just some entertaining character chemistry to it. The colors and the movement in this scene is just wow. Another 10 out of 10. This one also has some serious competition with Bart the Daredevil in terms of entertainment. I did not enjoy Blood Feud that much, actually. I don't know how to explain the plot, if there's even any plot. If I even tried to describe the plot, that would pretty much just be talking about the whole episode, in which I forgot what happened in the episode even though I just watched it a minute ago. So yeah, 4 out of 10, bad episode. So from what I've seen, season 2 is what happens when season 1 goes to therapy, gets plastic animation surgery, and more comedy. Stuff like this doesn't really happen as much anymore. It improved on the animation, sharpened the comedy, and kept the emotional core intact. And that third one's a huge one. The show still cares. Bart still gets in trouble, Lisa's still a little girl, Homer's an actual human being with actual human thoughts. This season walks a tightrope between humor and heart, and most of the time, it nails the landing. Let's rank the episodes. 22 is Blood Feud, 21 is Simpson and Delilah, 20 is Bart's Dog Gets an F, 19 is Homer and Lisa versus the 8th Commandment, 18 is Principal Charming, 17 is War of the Simpsons, 16 is Dead Pudding Society, 15 is Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, 14 is Old Money, 13 is 2 Cars in Every Garage and 3 Eyes on Every Fish, 12 is Dance and Homer, 11 is Bart Gets Hit by a Car, 10 is The Ways We Was, 9 is Brush with Greatness, 8 is Bart vs. Thanksgiving, 7 is Bart Gets an F, 6 is One Fish, Two Fish, Bluefish, Blowfish, 5 is Lisa's Substitute, 4 is Treehouse of Horror, 3 is Oh Brother Where Art Thou, 2 is 3 Men in a Comic Book, and 1 is Bart the Daredevil. So, is Season 2 better than Season 1? Yes, it is. Season 2 gets a 9 out of 10. Next video, Season 3. How is it compared to Season 2? We'll find out in the next video. Goodbye for now.